So my name is Anne Marie Wanjiru, and I am the daughter of Terry Wanjiru. Um, First of all, I want to thank Mweshimiwa and all the visitors here for coming out. We appreciate you taking time to come yet again and to be able to mourn with the family, but also celebrate the life of my mom. Um, what is a mother? A mother is a life giver, a nurturer, a teacher who holds a highly esteemed and integral role in the family and society. The biblical view emphasizes a mother's responsibility in the spiritual and moral upbringing of her children, including teaching them about God and modeling virtues like strength, love, and wisdom. Being a mother is a divine calling and a gift from God. My mother, Terry Wanjiru, wore many hats. She was a mother, she was a shosho, she was a maito, she was a sister, an aunt, a friend, a confidant, a protector, an advisor, a teacher, a businesswoman. But to me, she was just my mother, the woman that God chose to bring me into this earthly realm. And for that, I am forever grateful. From the get-go, she was my protector. She was a woman of resilience. She nurtured me. She loved me. She provided for me. She taught me. Her generous spirit opened my eyes to the gift of giving. She taught me how to travel. She taught me how to bank and balance a checkbook. She was a figure of strength and wisdom, and one who committed her life to being a mother. If my mother could have, she probably would have had more children than her own mother did, who had 18. When my father died, my mother was expecting, as you may have heard, but she unfortunately lost the baby during that time. Not wanting her daughter to grow up alone, she purposely took in some of her siblings' children and raised them. And many of them are actually seated here. Tina, Eliza, Francis, Tete. You guys are more than just cousins. We've shared a life growing up together. You're my sisters and brothers. And that's how my mom wanted it. My mom always put us first in whatever she did. She was a hard and disciplined worker who provided for us in so many ways. She treated us all as her children. I remember how she would buy me and Eliza the same matching outfits, and it would really piss me off. They would be in different colors, but the both of us would hate that because we wanted our own style. Tina was a bit older, so she didn't have to go through the matching clothes drama. And Francis was a guy, so he dodged the fashion anguish. My mother had a chic fashion sense. I remember always admiring her flowing Halston 70s style and big gown outfits and her chic 80s classic blouses and shoes. When my mom was away at work and we were on break from school, I was tasked the role of sneaking her keys for her wardrobe so that we would get into her closet, take her clothes and wear them. Me, Eliza, and Tina, we would model these dresses with music playing in the background. It was mostly Lionel Richie and Whitney Houston, for those who can remember. We were thinking we were supermodels. My mom's fashion style inspired my love for classic chic clothing. My mother always had a love for expensive perfumes. Dior, Chanel, Lancome, Black Opium by YSL. Some of you have probably never ever heard of those names, but it's okay. Of which she meticulously arranged on her dressing table, and dare you touch them. Even till this day, she still had empty bottles of perfume. My mother was such a caring caregiver. The way my mother always provided for us was a gift from heaven. A single mother in the 70s and 80s raising kids on one income. She would never let you see any struggles she may have been going through. Now knowing, looking back, there were quite a few struggles. At the same time, she would be helping her extended family here and there. She sacrificed so much for me and others. Truthfully speaking, if it wasn't for my mom, most of my father's business estate and properties would have probably been stolen at that time of his death and even after. See, he trusted her to look after his things, and she sacrificed a whole lot to salvage what belonged to him for his children. After going into her own business, after working at African tours and hotels, I remember she would have to travel a lot working in the couriers and Kiondo trade, international trade industry. Coming home from school and finding the garage has been taken over by soapstone and baskets became a familiar occurrence. We knew we were going to be put to work. That was free child labor. She taught us how to do inventory, how to wrap and pack not only clothes, but carvings, African jewelry, arts and crafts as well. Even as she was away, she would leave proper instructions in the daily operations of the house. School, food, transportation. She would always leave the resources and contacts of people we needed in case there was an emergency. Auntie Grace Kelly was one of those contacts. She would have her specific people who would come in and check in on us, so that even if we were in school, we didn't miss anything. She created a home for us. When I was younger, she would take us into the salon, and I remember I would cry so much because I didn't want her to leave. After my hair would be done, I would sit there sulking while anxiously looking outside just to see her face coming in to get me. There was a joy when I would see her around the corner and she opened the door. And sometimes if she was really, really late, she would come with some dairy milk just to try and soothe me over. When she would leave to go for her dinner events with her friends, I was never able to fall asleep when I was young. So before she got back, I would wait by the window, just waiting to see the lights from her car driving on Tigoni Road entering the gates. Every car that would pass would make my heart race, thinking it was her. Those days, we could see the road straight from the house because back in the day, we had the natural wood fence. After completing high school, my mom is the one who took me to college. Being an experienced traveler, she showed me the ropes of international travel and made sure I knew how to do things on my own. She would tell me, make sure you have your passport and your boarding pass safe. I remember going shopping with my mom for my dorm, my first dorm. The list the school provided wasn't a long one, but in true mommy fashion, she added on things and shopped like she was at Uchumi. Uchumi Ngong Road was one of her favorite stores to buy groceries. She would almost buy out the whole store. So when it closed down, you can only imagine how upset she was. Shopping with her was an event, a major experience. She was allergic to buying single items. She had to buy in bulk. That was her style. When she would walk into the store, her face would light up. She would walk into Chandarana Yaya and almost buy out the whole store. The workers there knew her. When she was done with her shopping, they would carry all the shopping and deliver it to the house while she continued shopping at her favorite boutiques at Yaya, including Woolworth. She loved her boutique girls. They treated her like VIP and she loved it. When they would have sales or get new stock, they would bring samples of clothing to the house for her to look at. She was a VIP customer. When she would travel for her business trips, she would come back with extra suitcases full of shopping for the whole village, her family. It was torture for us during those times when she would delay in unpacking. We would try and sneak through the suitcases to see what new stuff she had brought for us. The day would finally, the day of unpacking would finally come, and it was like Christmas. The amount of shopping that she would do was astounding. She made sure she had bought everyone something, regardless of how large the family was. The aunties, the uncles, the nieces, the nephews, the cousins, the watchman, the friends, the lawyers, the business associates, the gardener, everyone. She had something for everyone. That was my mom, a heart of generosity. I always loved it when she came to visit me in the US. The house would get an extra boost of shopping with all kinds of goodies, and I knew the amount of shopping that was about to be done. The excitement was like being a kid again in a candy store, and that's exactly how she looked whenever we entered into any store. She loved Macy's. She had her list of the village she had to do her shopping for. We would spend hours upon hours at the store, from morning till evening, getting home tired, but it would be so worth it. Then she would arrange everything we bought, and we would sort out what would be going where and to which person, and she had a knack for that. She knew which item would look good on who. She had it in her head already. Even when arranging and sorting her clothes at home, she would know immediately who was going to get what. Looking back, growing up, we may not have had everything, but then you never do. But we had what was necessary, and that was what was important. There was always fruits in the house and a fridge full of groceries. Who can forget her fruit salads? It was a whole session and event. She would start preparing by picking the fruits she was going to use, soaking them in water and vinegar for like an hour, using all the cutlery in the kitchen. Then she would come back and start cutting the fruits, with which she would mix in a huge bowl, covered them, and then serve them. Many visitors who came would be fascinated at the type of exotic fruits she would sometimes use. It was a lesson and a half for everyone. And dare you come into the kitchen while she was making salad, you would be given an earful. Anyone who came into the house had to have her fruit salad, which she could only make in her own way uniquely. Even if one of us tried, it never tasted the same. She was a giver. And because of her generosity, we never lacked in our home. It was her joy to see people feel at home in our home and well fed. Whenever my friends would come visit, she would always make sure everyone had eaten to their fill and then try to get them to spend the night. She loved my friends. She would always give me updates, even when I was in the US, of who she ran into and how they would have conversations and coffee. Her deep bond and connection with her grandson, Josiah, was one that also brought joy to my heart. He brought another side of her, like a more youthful side. She was able to joke more, enjoy more, and laugh. I want to thank Pastor Moffat not because my mom is not in heaven because she went to church on Sunday, not because she grew up in a certain way, was born into a certain family, but it's because she accepted Jesus Christ as a personal Lord and Savior. There's no other way into heaven. I can't stand here and tell you right now that I'm good, that I'm fine. Because honestly speaking, I would rather have my mommy back, but I can't. This was not the way that we expected it to end. We had hoped and prayed and believed for. But only God knows. She's gone. She's gone to be with the one who created her, her Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, in heaven, a place where God hopes for us to go. And the only way to get there is not through rituals, not through traditions of men, but through accepting Jesus Christ into our hearts as our personal Lord and Savior. You loved me from the beginning. I will love you till the end. My heart is aching, but I'll see you in heaven. Thank you.
Let us appreciate her with a mighty clap, tafadhali.